Good morning. It's time for another update, and today's topic is going to be safety comes from within. As many of you know, I just got back from the San Francisco Expo, the New Living Expo, last weekend, and I was very fortunate and honored to be on panels, a 2012 panel and a UFO panel with some very interesting individuals. For example, I was on there with David Wilcock. We seemed to hit it off really well. He's one of those people that provides a lot of the scientific validation for the work that we've been doing all these years, because that wasn't my role. My role was just to put it out there and explain the emotional side, but not this. I did not have the scientific data to back it up. They never once said there'd be people who would come to take care of that. And when I listened to David speak, I realized he was one of them. I was also on there with, I think his name is Robert Sheely, and of course Sean David Morton. He was ever entertaining. And I don't know who was more entertaining, him or Daniel Brinkley, but we were all on the panel together. And another individual who wrote the book Life After Life. I mean, he's pretty exceptional in the book too. He's been at this for like 30 years, and he's really delved into reincarnation. In any case, what we seem to be talking about over and over again to crowds that they weren't just standing room only, they were sitting in the aisles all the way up to the table at the front of the room, and were packed, 5 and 10 people deep outside the room trying to listen in. 2012 is a big topic, and all these people are well researched. They've got their facts, they've got their data, and what they're showing us over and over again is that something major is happening. And in the last few weeks we've had freak snowstorms, earthquakes near Reno. Now they're talking about food shortages and gas shortages. Some of these are real and some of these are not real. Here in the Midwest, they have farmers that they're still paying not to grow crops. So it's not that there's any food shortage. They're trying to create that fear. And of course there's no real oil shortage, but they're trying to create that fear because that's all part of the agenda. But the earthquakes are real, that's obvious. But the thing is people are starting to get very scared. They're starting to run to the stores and hoard food and that type of thing. And the truth is, and this is what it comes down to, is that just as ancients have told us, our old way of doing things isn't going to work. Hoarding food, trying to create safety outside of ourselves is not the answer. We must, at this point in time, look inward for our safety. And when we understand, and what they have proven now, is that compassion is a frequency that basically, I call it the Windex of life. It's like you have a mirror of life, the reality that you see, and whatever fearful events, catastrophes and things that are happening in your mirror are there because obviously you need them for your growth. Because why would one person be in a tsunami and not another? Well, the person who was in it needed it for their experience. Why? We don't know. We have to talk to their guides. But short of that, we realize that we create our own reality, and what we draw into our reality and create is what we need for our growth. So it comes down to activating that little gland right here in your thymus. Your thymus is, let me show you. Your thymus is like right here where my heart is. It's right between your throat and your heart. It's near the breastbone. That little gland is what's going to get you safe in the future. It's going to keep you safe, because that is the one gland in your body, no place else, that produces a frequency of compassion. Compassion, as we have learned, is the middle point between the two polarities of, oh wait a minute, where's my other finger? Here we go. Yeah, between light and dark. It is the midpoint, and it's a point at which those two don't exist, because they're not seen as being valuable or not valuable. They're just, they just are. They're not, there's no polarity or no charge put on them. It's just, this is like chocolate and this is vanilla, and they're both great. So that midpoint is a point in which you stop having fear and you neutralize any imbalance in your reality. And as soon as you neutralize the imbalance, it's like it wipes it out of your reality. You no longer attract that in. as I've said over and over again, and it's now being shown in movies like the Secret and others, is that when you well, let me back up. Whatever feelings and thoughts go out through the neural net in your heart, which they've now found is the one that actually connects to the field around us, whatever those thoughts are, they are going to attract their likeness, because they're all electromagnetic, and all the energy in the field is also electromagnetic. So fear is going to attract fearful energy. Anger is going to attract angry energy. But energy of serenity and compassion and acceptance, that's going to attract its same thing. So it would be like the Windex. It doesn't attract anything negative. It just, things are peaceful. So when you put out that energy, that's what you will see in your reality. So it would be like Windexing away all the debris and all the negativity in your reality. So that was what was really brought home to me over and over this past weekend, and that was the answer that people were looking for. Yeah, I mean, all these guys can get up there and they can, tell you all about the facts about what this is going on, that's going on, and but the reality is that it's good to know these things, but it's good to know how to put them in perspective, and then how to move beyond them and not let them affect you, what we call riding the waves of change. And you do that by achieving that compassion in your life. So now more than ever, it is time to start activating that little thymus gland and start producing some compassion to wipe out the imbalances in your reality. Now, it's interesting that I finished the new set of the Keys of Compassion booklets and CD sets. I got to tell you, we were at the booth, we were selling those things. I mean, people were coming up there buying them, because it is the information that activates the thymus that the Nibiruans gave us, because they were the ones who put the gland there in the first place. So they know how to turn it back on. I turned it off, but now they're turning it back on with that little 9-step formula of compassion. So it's really good, and it's comfortable to know that I could put those out there, and they're galactic, but they're not written in galactic language. They're written in very mainstream language. And then to have the companion CDs that go with them, which give even more techniques and more tips and more stories about how to use it in specific areas, that's been great. And the feedback on them has been awesome, and I want to thank you guys for all your feedback. It really tells me that it was worth rewriting those keys so that they could be given to anybody and they wouldn't be offensive to anybody, but yet they still have the galactic information in them, the multidimensional information. So, creating safety, you do it by activating the thymus. You do it by using the compassion that you achieve through the thymus to basically clear away the imbalances in your life. And that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to be hoarding water. I'm not going to be hoarding food. I'm not going to live in fear. I mean, I look at these things, and yeah, I have an initial reaction, but then I realize, they're just part of the deal. This is part of the end. It's like, if you don't have something to work to get out of, you're going to stay where you are. So I see it as all a catalyst for change. I hope this is helpful to you, and I will talk to you next week, and I hope you have a lovely week, and the weather is starting to clear up in your area. Today we're actually going to have a beautiful, beautiful day. So take care. Bye-bye.